All right. Not even feeling an intro this week. So there. I'm going to spare everyone. No intro this week. Basically, I don't really think there's a whole hell of a lot I've got to say. So I'm just that I can really think of. So I'm just going to wait and see people show up and start talking about stuff. I don't have a lot to say, luckily, because blue-ray.com is back up. Has been for a week or so, and they're back to normal on blue-ray.com. There's not a whole hell of a lot that I've got to say that I can think of that I generally start the show with while I wait for people to show up. I'm seeing a hitchhiker already, 47, well, we'll say 48 seconds into the show. Thank you very much. Wade Wilson's here before it's even a minute into the show. Welcome. What do you want to talk about? I've got nothing. I've got nothing. So feel free, anyone listening, to start talking. Preferably about movie-related things this week. I realize that during these trying times, we all have frustrations to get off our chest and to talk about and vent, but it gets a little grueling to do it every fucking week. Rooster's here, Iron Rooster's here. He says, hello, how's the weather? Well, here it finally freaking warmed up. And, you know, where it's like the lows are still in the 60s. So it's actually gloomy and rainy today. So obviously, I did get my biking in on Monday. I went a whole big far distance, so got my biking done for the week, and then it's been rainy since, but I don't mind the rain. I like the rain because I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. So anyone who's a Friday the 13th fan probably likes the rain. So the weather's fine here. It's actually warmed up. It's supposed to be 88 on Saturday, which is just crazy. I got out kayaking with Beth last Saturday. We do what's called bobber hunting, where we'll just go around the perimeter of the lake, you know, do a lap, and we just pick up bobbers that, you know, are orphaned bobbers. And that's always kind of fun because some of them are challenging to get to, you know, tangled up here or there, this or that. So we did our first bobber hunt last Saturday on a beautiful Saturday. Rooster says 85 and hot here, going to be 95 next week. Pouty emoji face with a tear. Yeah, probably humid too. Yeah, that's another thing that happened here. Humidity kind of rolled in, and I'm like, oh man, it's humid. Rooster says, cool, that sounds fun. Yeah, we may have invented bobber hunting, where we just go around the perimeter of the lake and pick up bobbers. And we also picked up some beach toys that may have floated away and ended up on the other side of the lake, like some, you know, those things like a little or a sandcastle thing to mold sandcastle, and a little crab to mold a sand crab and stuff like that. And we actually paddled, you know, when we did the lap, there's a public beach on this particular lake, and we paddled when we got to the public beach, it was actually a mom with some kids trying to get into the water and stuff, and we actually gave her the little plastic sandcastle and sand crab makers, so she claimed them, that was kind of cool, taking trash and giving it away. And what's so funny about our bobber hunting over the years is, you know, we actually find some pretty nice bobbers, and Beth actually was able to sell some of the bobbers we found in past years to coworkers. So, I mean, picking up trash on the lake and selling it, that's the side job of, that's how I fund this channel and this project of Huge Movie Fanatics. I pick up trash and I sell it. Rooster says, no telling what you'll find. Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes if I'm feeling like it, I don't always pick up trash, but sometimes I'll pick up some bottles or cans that are also in the water and stuff like that, because, you know, obviously and the bait containers, the jerk wads that have to, bring their plastic bait containers to the lake and use the bait and just put the bait container in the water. It's like, whatever, jerk wad. So sometimes I'll pick up some of the trash and bring it to, because within this kayak trip of doing a lap around the lake, there's like a park, so you can get out and there's a trash can there and put some of this trash in there. And then there's like two different spots where you can get out and where there's trash cans and put trash. There's this park and then there's this beach area. So sometimes I'll pick up trash. Well, the bobbers are technically trash as well, but non-bobber trash and throw it in the trash cans and stuff. It's kind of fun. Rooster says, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Yep. Rooster says, I find old Coke bottles in the creek when I go arrowhead hunting. Yeah, and as long as you're there, might as well pick up the trash. That's what I always say. I guess I could pick up more trash, but the thing is, there's only so much room in a kayak, But yeah, it's funny. Some of these bobbers, people must pay, upwards of $5 for their, not the bobbers, but the lures. Some of these lures are really, really fancy schmancy, and it's just like cast it off and get it caught, and whoops, oh well. Rooster says, I have also found a couple small shark teeth. Yikes. Yeah, we don't find shark teeth in Minnesota, luckily. I'd be scared if we did. It'd be funny if someone went around putting shark teeth in Minnesota lakes to create some kind of panic or frenzy, or piranha teeth. Not that I don't know if anyone could identify piranha teeth. I'm seeing 4 people here, must be 3, including myself. What do we all want to talk about? Preferably movie related and maybe not so much politics related this week. I try not to dictate what we talk about, but talking about the depressing stuff every week gets a little depressing. Rooster says, do you like camping? Me and Beth, I actually never really did it. Well, I guess I did it when I was younger. A friend of my dad's had a cabin, and it for a couple of years in a row, like 4th of July weekend, he invited us over and we slept in a tent and outdoors and stuff. And yeah, that was fun. I haven't done that for a long time. It was a big tent and he had a cot for my dad and I, and that was fun. We just did that like once a year in 1990 and 1991. And then I was such an asshole, like 14-year-old in 91, that he never invited us back. I've got a lot of that on video, PXL 2000 video. 14-year-old know-it-all. I was kind of an asshole. So that was the last time we ever did that. But I never really camped until last year. Beth and I actually started doing this quote unquote campground near us. And since I'm such a pansy and at my age, I don't really sleep on the ground very well anymore. We actually slept in a vehicle. We had a tent set up to keep, all of our stuff in overnight, but we actually just slept in the vehicle because it was in September. So it was like really cold, but that was kind of fun. I kind of feel like I'd like to try doing a tent this year and like I've already got a cot. Maybe if we got another cot, so Beth and I could both be on a cot with a pad on it in the tent. I kind of want to try that this year. I'm kind of a sensitive sleeper. I don't know if, the thin tent, me being able to hear every little thing through the thin tent walls. I don't know if I'd even be able to fall asleep. I could sleep in a tent much easier as a teenager, but as I got older, it's just like, I'm so used to it being quiet when I sleep that I don't know if I could sleep in a tent with, being able to just hear everything around. But yeah, I kind of want to go to that same place this year, like in the warmer months, and get another cot and try to sleep in the tent, because there's no way I'm going to sleep on the ground these days. Will Powell's here. He says, hello there. Welcome, Will. Long time no read. Long time no read chat. Rooster says, it's good just to be out in nature, laugh out loud. It's a good antidepressant. Yeah, especially last year. Last year was the very first time I ever went to an actual quote unquote camping place where you pay and have to buy their wood and have to follow their rules and all this and that. And we found this really nice spot, and we spent the Friday, we went there Friday and spent Saturday and Sunday there, and we left Sunday. And we spent the entire weekend there. And then once we went out into the back into the world on Sunday, it was like, just, oh my God, the traffic was so just oppressive. And it was just so nice to just be in that just slowed down outdoor situation. And it really makes, I already knew it, but doing that really makes you just realize how much humanity's been hijacked from their roots of what, in my opinion, life should be, which is just living off the land and living simply. But I agree, it's definitely a good antidepressant, especially last year. So I'm kind of hoping to do that again. One thing Beth didn't love about it is the fire ring thing that they got there, where it's like the designated spot for the fire, and then you've got your steel ring that's like almost, I don't know if it's a foot high, close to a foot high, if not a foot high, that encircles the fire pit area with the grill and stuff. It's like, it's so high that, because we went last September and it was chilly, it's like it's basically shielding you from any of the heat from the fire. So that was kind of a bummer. But if you go in the warmer weather, you don't really need the heat from the fire. So I'm hoping to, like I say, go there this year in warmer weather and hopefully sleep in the tent on cots. But I agree, it definitely was something that was great to do, like last year, just because of last year being last year and stuff, and probably hope to do it again this year in actual decent weather. Problem is, if it's too hot, then I'll be just laying there sweating, and I guess I'm kind of a pansy in my older age, I guess. Will Powell says, sorry, I've been off the scene these last few weeks. Always had something on when your radio show has been live. That's fine. As I always say, or say very often on this show, life comes first. That's all right. Glad to see everyone who's here this week after having changed the time once again. I think this noon time, perhaps maybe we can just stay with, obviously if this changes, I'll let people know, but maybe just keep this noon time, just into the fall and winter and stuff. The reason I switched it back an hour is because it occurred to me that if you do a show at noon up until 2 and it's nice weather, well, you still got time to do the show, and then after the show, get out on the bike trail or whatever. So instead of trying to do this, the show at noon or at 1 during crappy weather and do it later during nice weather, just have the same start time, do it earlier. So if it's nice out, you can still get out on the bike trail after the show. Of course, as I said, if there's ever a day, if it ever warms up enough where you can actually get in the water this year, I'm afraid to say a show may be canceled here and there if it's a perfect boating day, which would eat up the entire Thursday. But for the most part, at least so far, we're doing okay. And there's always plenty of radio show from past weeks to listen to if a week has to be skipped here and there. Rooster says it's tough for me to sleep in a tent also. Yeah, I could do it fine as a teenager. Like, there was no problem doing it in 1990 and 91 at my dad's friend's cabin. But, I found myself when I was getting into my mid-20s, like, God, I used to be able to do this. I'd be worried about things like, oh, God, there's trees above us. What if a tree limb breaks and falls on us? What if a deer, is walking through the woods at night and falls and lands on your head or any part of you when you're sleeping? As an adult, I just had so many paranoid thoughts of what could go wrong. So, if we were to do the tent at this camp place, it's kind of an open field. So because there's no trees hanging above you. Because I personally don't think it's necessarily a good idea to have a tent where there's tree limbs above you, where at any time, any one of them could fall off and just, land right on your head or any part of you. But Rooster says most of my family have campers, but that's not real camping. Laugh out loud. That's true. It's you see those people with those campers that are almost as big as a trailer house, and it's just like, okay, so what is the point of even doing this? You're basically you're bringing something which is equivalent to a house, mini house. You're roughing it with your shower and your, oh my God, your toilet and stuff. Rooster says a lot of the state parks I camp at have hiking trails, which I enjoy. Well, yeah, this place is, all encompassing, big kind of park and whatever. So there's definitely plenty of stuff to walk around. One thing that was fun last year was, because we went there on Saturday or Friday night and stayed Saturday and Sunday, or through Saturday and Sunday. So then Saturday you just spend the whole day walking around. It was really fun to just go to, because there's different areas. We were staying in the rustic area, which is the least expensive and no electricity and all this and that. So there's a rustic kind of camp area. Then there's modern, which most people are there with their big camp RVs and campers and stuff, so they can use the power and have all the niceties of home. And what's even pathetic is then the guy will have his like internet dish or whatever he puts out, and it's just like, that's a little much. Like, I didn't bother with internet or anything like that. It's just like, that's a little much. But I guess if perhaps his business is dependent on it or whatever. But anyway, what I was saying is you walk around, we'd walk around these different areas. It was just fun to see different people's setups. We'd go to I think the whatchamacallit campground is probably the biggest one is the modern campground. But sometimes people will, which is kind of cool, that's the electricity campground. So sometimes they'll even just set up a tent and just run a cord into the tent, which is kind of cool. The thing that I don't really agree with or necessarily understand is, like I say, these huge, just monster trailers and stuff. And then we even came across some guy who was like, this is our house. This is we sold our house and this is what we live in. And I was like, oh wow. I was almost kind of thought that might be a good idea, especially these days. But it's fun to go. It was fun to go and walk around and see other people's setups and stuff. But we definitely, this spot that we go to is really definitely really nice and has definitely plenty of spots to walk on. And then there's a lake and stuff. And we don't bother with bringing kayaks. If we go kayaking, we just go and do that on a day. It's not like we bring the kayaks to the camping trip weekend. I guess a person could, but the thing is, on the weekend, the lake's going to be the most busy and choppy and stuff with water skiers and stuff. So Beth's neither am I keen on kayaking when the water is all choppy. Gary Page is here. He says, hi, Nate. Hi, everyone. I'm here listening, but doing a few jobs around the house. I took the plunge and ordered Friday the 13th Part 2 Steelbook. Okay, cool. Yeah, as you guys may or may not know, as I said, I would have gotten the Steelbook if it wasn't for that, anorexic Roman numeral 2. So I just can't do it. I've seen it in a couple stores a couple times and was tempted, but it's just going to bug me. So I'll save some money. But I'm happy for any of you others who get the Friday 2 Steelbook and are able to enjoy it. I think I've seen online the inside, like, photo they have for the inside of it, and it seems to me that it was better than the one from last year, the first movie. Like, it was a picture or something. I don't remember offhand, but I think the inside art was better than the inside art of the first movie. And we can only hope it occurred to me, was Friday the 13th Part 3, did that come out in 82 or 83? Because I was thinking that, I don't know if, I can't remember. It might have not have come out until 83. I don't remember. In which case it would take until 2023 for that potential steelbook to come out. Because I think a lot of us were saying next year for that, but then I was like, well, I don't remember if it came out in 82 or 83. Will Powell says it's extremely windy here in Cornwall. That sucks. We had some wind, seemed like a week ago or so. Rooster says, hello, Gary. Yeah, I got to get part one, or I got to get part one since I got two now. Haha. Yeah, the steelbook for the first movie is great. I mean, that original poster art looks so great on the steelbook. Okay, goody. Looks like C-Snap's here. He gets to spend more than 5 minutes of show like last week. Gary Page says, Iron Rooster, thumbs up. C-Snap says, hey, Nate. Hey, guys. Welcome. Glad you're able to join earlier this week as opposed to last week. Wade Wilson says, did the first Friday the 13th come out in 1980 in theaters, or was it 79? Was it in theaters? Filmed in the fall of 79 and came out in May of 1980, if memory serves. Okay, C-Snap says Friday Part 3 was 82, so hopefully see the Friday the 13th Part 3 steelbook next year and not have any kind of screw-ups on it like the Friday the 13th Part 2 one. I just assume because there's basically two different posters for Part 2. The theatrical poster, which I've got on my wall right here, is the same thing. It doesn't have the outline of the person with the axe. It's just a black poster with Friday 13th Part Roman numeral 2. The body count continues, white on black. And in North America, the home video version was the outline of the person from the first movie holding an axe instead of a knife. And then the Friday the 13th Part 2 was in there. But instead of a Roman numeral 2, it was just a number 2. And, I just kind of almost just assumed they'd done that with the steelbook. And that way they probably still could have made the anorexic 2 or whatever. But because the way it is on the steelbook now, it's kind of like part theatrical poster and part home video poster or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating for me, being a huge Friday fan, that they screwed up that steelbook. But as I said, money saved. Thanks everyone for showing up this week, and hopefully we got the start time thing straightened out, figured out. Apologies for the confusion the last couple of weeks, where it was just kind of like I just decided to start at noon versus 1. I'm seeing 7 people here, which might mean 6, including myself. Welcome, everyone. What do we want to talk about? Hopefully, preferably movie-related, as I'm seeing one of these inexplicable chat lags where I haven't seen anything show up for, I don't know what, a minute now or so. And then we'll have to wait, because I don't think Final Chapter was 83. Was that 84? Then we'll have to wait until 2024 to potentially see a Final Chapter steelbook. Rooster says, I ordered He Knows You're Alone Blu-ray this week. I'm a sucker for the slasher movies. Yeah, I'm part tempted to get that thing because it's such a goofy ass, just schlock, Halloween ripoff. But I don't know. I don't watch it very often, and I've got was it a Warner Brothers DVD, which suits me fine. So chances are I won't be getting that, but I did order the recently released Grizzly Blu-ray, and once they get it in stock on that website, which is named after a big river, I'll probably order the King Kong 76 Blu-ray, because I don't want to sleep on it and then have to pay even more for it down the road. Part of me was thinking about getting Day of the Animals as well, because they just, this outfit, I can't think of the outfit, just released a new Blu-ray of Grizzly and Day of the Animals at the same time, but I don't think I like Day of the Animals as much as Grizzly. So I'm going to hold off on Day of the Animals and see if it comes down. If not, maybe just forget about it. Rooster says, I also grabbed Night of the Creeps. Okay. That one I'm not quite familiar with, or as familiar with. I may have never seen it. Down to 4 people, probably 3 including myself. Rooster says Night of the Creeps has Tom Atkins in it. Okay, probably more younger 80s Tom Atkins. I'm seeing 3 hitchhikers. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was one of the only cool things about My Bloody Valentine 3D is the fact that Tom Atkins is in it. I was like, when we saw it, I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know. That was a surprise to see him. Yep, another leg in the chat. Wade Wilson says, I picked up a rare Pinocchio's Revenge Laserdisc. It's a psychological horror. I wouldn't label it a slasher. I think they kind of advertised it as a slasher when it first came out, which disappointed people. Yeah, I reviewed Pinocchio's Revenge on this channel a couple years ago. Got the VHS for like, I think $1 years and years ago. So if anyone wants to check out at some point my review of Pinocchio's Revenge, please feel free to do so. I would imagine that Laserdisc's on the rarer side. That's cool. Rooster says Tom Atkins said Night of the Creeps was his favorite movie to be in or something along those lines in something I watched a while back. Huh. Do we got a year on the release year on Night of the Creeps? C-Snap says Tom Atkins was great in Halloween 3 and The Fog. Oh my God, those are a couple of my favorite Tom Atkins movies. Yep, I mean, yeah. Okay, Rooster says, I think 86. That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be tough for me to decide which. I guess I probably like Halloween 3 more for Tom Atkins because The Fog is kind of an ensemble movie where no one's necessarily really the star per se. It's just there's just so many people in The Fog. Tom Atkins as Nick Castle in The Fog. That's so confusing when they had this bright idea to name characters in the movie off of real names of people they knew. You want to see the most confusing credit list ever. Look at the cast for The Fog. Tom Atkins as Nick Castle. Wade Wilson says the video quality on Pinocchio's Revenge Laserdisc is very close to the DVD release of it. It's definitely one of the best video quality Laserdiscs that I own. It did come out late 1996, so not shocking. Rooster says, I love the opening of The Fog. Yeah, The Fog, the original Fog is never, I've reviewed it on this channel, I think quite a long time ago, and it's a movie that I want to like, but I just never been able to really connect to it. I think just the ensemble cast aspect of it, I don't know what it is about it. It's like it seems like you just never have time to just, I don't know, get to spend enough time with any. It just seems to be jumping around so much that I've never been able to really fully connect with The Fog, like the original The Fog. Not to say that it's not good. And plus, I guess as I've said in the past, I'm more of a physical stock and slash kind of person versus more supernatural stuff, which is understandable. Gary Page says Night of the Creeps, fun movie, throwback to 50s B movies set in the 80s. Okay, maybe it's on Tubi or something. I haven't even watched anything on Tubi for months. We were doing a Tubi binge for a while there, but I think whatchamacallit kind of killed it. Killed Tubi for us. I can't think of the name now. Doom Asylum. C-Snap says Stacy Nelkin in Halloween 3 was meant to be in Blade Runner as one of the escaped replicants who got fired running through an electrical field. Funny how she ended up as an android in Halloween 3. Yeah, it would have been so great if she had been in Blade Runner. Yeah, it is interesting. You can only assume that they were, thinking of casting her because she could do that blank android stare. I really wish she had been in Blade Runner in, a big part or just a small part or something. She could have been one of them sex bots. Rooster says something is missing with the fog for sure. Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is. It's like it just jumps around characters so much where you never feel like you're getting to know any of them very well at all because it's too busy jumping around on characters. It's like every single character in the fog is a side character. There's no one who is the star. It's just weird. I mean, even Jamie Lee Curtis, who's, quote unquote, kind of the star in it, is just like this drifter who you just never get to know. You don't get to know anyone. Wade says, I also picked up Demonic Toys on Laserdisc, but the seller still hasn't shipped it off, which I'm disappointed because that's another rare Laserdisc and I paid a lot for it. I wish you would ship it out. God, that must be really stressful. Sorry about that. Best of luck with that. One can only assume it'll end up getting shipped out. Yeah, I've got a handful of Full Moon. There's just so much to showcase and so much to do. I've got a pile of, weeks ago or whenever the hell it was, maybe back in March now, I went through all the Laserdiscs that were stored up in a hard to get to spot, and I dug through what I thought might be interesting for people to see. So I put aside all the Full Moon ones that I have, and I plan to show you guys. And I got I got some Full Moon Laserdiscs as well. So those are kind of fun, and probably the best way. I mean, the best way you're going to hear the sound on those Full Moon movies is a Laserdisc, because the sound on the Blu-rays that they put out is hit or miss. More times often than not, it's missed, the sound quality. So the sound quality on those Full Moon Laserdiscs are just amazing, like with their stereo and everything like that. The Blu-rays might have better picture quality. Sometimes even that's hit or miss, but the sound is probably always going to be better on the Laserdiscs. So best of luck with getting that. That's a bummer that he's got to stress you out over shipping it. C-Snap says, sorry, I think The Fog is the perfect horror movie. Classic ghost storytelling. Well, don't have to be sorry. See, we all have our own opinions, so I'm glad you like it. I wish I could like it more than I do. I just can't. I'm glad to hear you do like it. Don't have to apologize for it. You got to apologize now for apologizing. Wade says, another Laserdisc I picked up is Sleep Stalker, but I'm still waiting for it. Hopefully it doesn't have any issues such as Laserdisc rot. The entire movie is available on YouTube for free. Big smiley face. Yeah, I've heard of that, Sleep Stalker, but I haven't seen it. Wade says, Sleep Stalker has a really creepy soundtrack that I like. Okay. Cool. God, I hope these people send these out. I hope you have you ever gotten burned like on YouTube or anything where people haven't sent? I luckily never have. I don't do a whole lot of YouTubing. Am I saying YouTube? Jesus Christ, there I am going again. eBaying. Have you ever gotten burned on eBay with the people not sending something out? I haven't been doing a lot of eBaying, but luckily I've never got burned on eBay. Except that one time, I think I mentioned it in a past show where years and years ago, I think it was early 2000s, I bought this quote unquote video CD of Bog, thinking it was more official or authorized than it was, and it really wasn't. But that was kind of like a buyer beware thing. I don't blame the seller. It's my fault for not knowing what I'm buying. CSNAP says, watched Invasion USA last week. It was uncut. Some Tom Savini FX in there. Classic Chuck Norris. Weird. Where did you see it uncut? Huh. I didn't think there was an uncut version of... Are we talking... Tom Savini effects in Invasion USA? Huh. I didn't know he did the effects for that movie. I didn't know there was an uncut version of... Where the hell did you see that? Rooster says, I watched Burial Ground and Zombie Holocaust this weekend. I had them in an old DVD pack with both of them in. Burial Ground had some cool looking zombies. Yeah, Beth and I watched that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that is just a horrible movie. But the one thing about the Italian zombie movies is they have, in my opinion, the best looking zombies. I'm pretty sure I've also reviewed Burial Ground on my channel. Look for the creepy ass thumbnail of the man-child in bed with his glaring eyes glaring at you. Yeah, the reason they probably had to get one of those, those undeveloped men as the kid in the movie is because of the scene at the end, which I won't spoil. Wade says, will any of you watch any of the Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th this year? It's going to be the only Friday the 13th this year. It's hard to say. I might. I guess it depends on if I have something else going on. It's a bummer we only get one Friday the 13th this year. At least it's in the warm weather months versus December or November or January, February, March. Rooster says, yeah, the mother-son thing was weird, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm not even going to mention it. I feel dirty even thinking about it. C-Snap says, yeah, it was on Blu-ray. The coke snorting scene was uncut, quite violent. Weird. Haven't seen it for a long time. So is there a coke snorting scene in the R-rated version that's just extended in the uncut one? I haven't seen it for a while. Rooster says, that was like a 30-year-old kid. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, it was one of those, situations, physical situations, I can only assume, where had that some growing deficiency or whatever, like the guy who played that evil kid in Children of the Corn, they get these adults with the growing deficiency to be kids. Wade Wilson says coke snorting scene and what? They also have one of those scenes in Demons. That's what I was thinking of. I'm like, is he talking about Demons or Invasion USA? Wade Wilson says, I zoned out. Yeah, admittedly, I haven't seen Invasion USA for quite a while. Pretty sure I talked about last week having gotten the Blu-ray of Cut and Run and kind of regretting it, but that's okay. Life goes on. And being actually, seeing the uncut version for the first time and being actually put off by the unrated footage, like it's not even enjoyable. What else did he watch? Let me look at something here. He watched, oh yeah, Zombie. Okay, what did you think of Rooster? What did you think of Zombie Holocaust? Now that one's Dr. Butcher MD, I think, also. That one I think is fun. Is that the one where the guy kills the zombie with the outboard motor? There was the guy from Zombie in it, the British guy from Zombie. Having another one of them chat legs. I guess people maybe they just aren't, there's only like 5 people here, so maybe people just don't talk. Rooster says, I need to stop buying Friday the 13th movies. I grabbed part 3 Blu-ray in Big Lots the other night for $3. It's the one that comes with the 3D glasses, since I can't watch real 3D pouty face with a teardrop. So did you already have that? Why do you say you need to stop buying them? Because you just buy them over and over even though you have them? I had that problem too. Like for a while, if I used to find the old DVD from '99 of the first movie at half price for $3, I'd buy it even though I've got tons of them already, and just because it's like, oh, it's only $3. I stopped doing that. Well, that's because last year I stopped going to half price books. Okay, Rooster says, yeah, the guy from Zombie 79 is it. Yeah, Zombie Holocaust is fun. Wade says, it's really stupid that the uncut version of A Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Child hasn't been released on DVD or Blu-ray. I mean, I think it looks fine on Laserdisc, but I wouldn't mind a more high-def version. He probably was going to say, that guy that said he was working on the high-def version and would release it on the web hasn't, and I'm not sure if he will. If he was threatened by New Line Cinema, it may stop him from releasing it. Yeah, one can only assume, like, I don't know, like the elements for the unrated or the whatever you want to call it, full cut version are like, I don't know, hard to find. I don't know why they wouldn't have put it out that way on the first DVD or for sure the Blu-ray. That's just weird. CSEP says, yeah, Rostov, aka Richard Lynch, is selling drugs in the scene and slams the. Oh, okay, I remember that. The woman's head into the coke as she's snorting it, forcing the straw up her brain, then proceeds to shoot everyone. Okay, yeah, I remember that. Gary Page says Friday the 13th, 1 through 8 Blu-ray box set sells out quick here. Amazon sell out real quick. Why would anyone buy that now when you can? Oh, shit! You guys, I don't think the box set that Scream Factory put out, you guys can even watch. Is that Region A? Oh God. Oh my God. Rooster says, yeah, if I see Friday the 13th in a store, I want to buy it. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I understand that. Well, especially that's the reason I bought a couple used DVDs of the first one with the original cover, because it's just like I see that original cover and it's just like I gotta buy it. Even though I have it, I gotta buy it. Wade says the motorcycle scene in Dream Child is so much better uncut. Yeah, and also that Bon Appetit, bitch. I don't know if those are the only 2 scenes that have extended stuff in them, or if there's other ones too. I'm not as familiar with the uncut version, since all I've got it on is the tape, I guess. Wade says, I own the 8-movie collection of Friday the 13th on Blu-ray. The cover artwork is goofy. I forget why, but it might have been an incorrect mess. Someone pointed it out before. I prefer watching on Laserdisc. Yeah, I reviewed that 8-movie collection when it came out and commented on all of the artwork and just ridiculousness of all the artwork being incorrect and this and that. But at the time, I was just grateful that, you know, they were released again. That was the most important thing to me, that I could have like a backup, because up until then I just had that tin, so I just had like the 4 through 8, just one copy of each one, which was kind of scary. Well, 4 through, I guess, the rest of them, but I don't really consider anything after 8 anything worth watching. I pretty much stop after 7 anyway. Brewster says, well, I didn't have the 3D glasses for part 3, so I don't know how good that will be. Have you never seen 3D and even any kind of anaglyph 3D even? Because the anaglyph does give you, I mean, you can't, I sure as shit can't watch the whole movie like that, but if you want to just look at certain scenes or certain kills briefly, the anaglyph definitely gives you, the basic idea, or, the same thing of gives you the idea of what the 3D is like, or the effect, very well. And even it'll even, it gives you the basic effect of what everything looks like, just in the crappy red and blue fashion, but it does really good, really. So have you not seen Friday 3 even in anaglyph 3D even? Oh wow. You're gonna be happy with he says, no, I haven't. You're gonna really be surprised. Like I say, I wouldn't recommend doing the whole movie at once, because your brain's gonna be dead. But maybe just like 15 or 20 minutes at a time or something, or just, look at certain kills or certain scenes. But you're going to be probably pleasantly surprised with even the anaglyph version of Friday Part 3, because it definitely gives you the idea. Gary says, I have the Friday the 13th tin that was region free. Okay, good. Wade says the 3D version of Friday the 13th is not half bad. You should get the glasses for it. Also, if you have certain issues with your eyes, it won't work well. My dad has issues with his eyes, so he can't watch. Rooster says, I'll probably have a headache. Yeah, like I say, I wouldn't recommend watching very long. Just like maybe just skip to all the kills or something. Kill, kill, kill. Back when I was doing the anaglyph, it was just like, I'll just watch like the end with Chris in the barn, or this certain kill, or, this or that. Never the whole movie at once. Freaking forget it. Yep. Once again, the soothing sounds of silence. Gary says, what was that shitty steelbook they released for Friday the 13th remake? I think if you're talking about the same one I'm thinking of, I think I made a video about it when they put that out, and I think the video is called The Declining Artwork of the Friday the 13th Films, or something like that. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, but it's just like this goofy kindergarten drawing of some guy holding a machete or something. That's the one I'm thinking of. It's just laughable. Wade says, "Did you watch The Kindred yet?" Oh shit! Was I supposed to? I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen it before because I think I got the VHS tape. But I don't think I've seen it since I got the VHS tape. Rooster says, so how many times have you watched Halloween 6 on Laserdisc? Yeah, I forgot to mention in my video that I guess I figured it was obvious, but I should have mentioned it that, obviously I got the Halloween Curse of Michael Myers Laserdisc brand new in 96 because that was, year 2 of owning a Laserdisc player. But I don't know. I haven't counted. Obviously, I watched it more back right after I got it compared to years later, but I probably saw some decent play back in 96, 97, 98. I would imagine. Because back when I was a teenager and stuff, as I said before, in either radio shows or videos or whatever, that it was more about less movie buying and more watching the smaller amount of movies on repeat because funds were limited. Gary Page says, yes, it looks like a kid's art project. Okay, we're talking about the same one. Yeah, I did a video about it years ago, whenever the hell that came out, called The Declining Artwork of Friday 13th Franchise or something. I just had to make a video about it. I'm like, what is this? Just some employee at Paramount's Kids frickin' doodle? Rooster says, am I the only one that likes the orange on the cover of the Halloween 5 and 6 Laserdisc? I think the orange and black go good together. I don't think so. Didn't I mention I liked it? I don't know if I mentioned I liked it on the Halloween 6 one, but I mentioned it for the back of the 5 one. I think I was just so appalled by just holding the Laserdisc of Halloween 6 that I don't know. I guess I could have said the orange is the orange aspects are good, but I was just so put off by holding that movie, I guess. Wade says, oh, I must be confusing something. I know there was a movie recommended in the past, and I thought you said you would see it. Now I can't remember what it was, or maybe it was Illbleed, the video game. Oh, okay, I remember that. It probably was that. I looked at a little bit of footage of Illbleed, the video game, and it was just kind of gross to me. I'm not big on creepy, crawly bugs and all this shit. So I think it was Illbleed. I don't think you told me to watch The Kindred, but I mean, it doesn't really matter what people tell me to watch because I'm my own person. And I'm going to watch what I want. But I did look at some footage of Illbleed on YouTube, and it was just gross. Like just big bugs and shit. Wade says, maybe I was recommending you to play Illbleed. Yeah, that's what it was. And if you own a Sega Dreamcast with a burnt CDR, since the prices of Illbleed are ridiculous, people want $400, $500 for it. Yeah, then you said if I don't have it, look at YouTube, and which I did, and it was just gross. Rooster says, I think Halloween H2O has a laser disc. Yeah, I looked on eBay, and H2O's got a laser disc, but as I said in my showcasing of the Curse of Michael Myers one, that by the time that came out, I had DVDs, so sayonara with Laserdisc. I can only assume that, by then they were actually putting Dolby Digital multi-channel surround on Laserdiscs. I didn't look at the cover that well on eBay, but I can only assume like the H2O Laserdisc is in Dolby Digital 5.1. Wade says the big bug is only a few parts of the game. Illbleed is a great horror game, a throwback to 80s horror movies. You would really enjoy it if you gave it a chance. Just make sure to get the goggles. Yeah, well, I'm not going to play it because I'm not going to pay $500 for it and buy a Dreamcast. I'm not going to play it or emulate it. Wade says the horror goggles at the beginning of the game by the tree. Yeah, I'm not going to play it, but I appreciate it. Wade Wilson's got a sad face. Okay, I'll play it. My fingers are crossed. I swear. Rooster says, I remember playing the old Resident Evil game on PS1, laugh out loud. Yeah, I was never into that. The only thing that I ever got on PS1, anything equivalent, was, Evil Dead, Hail to the King, or whatever it was called. That was a big release at the time. I think it's so weird that an Evil Dead game came out on PlayStation before something that was a much bigger franchise like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th or something. That was just completely ironic. Who would have ever thought that would happen? And then Rooster says the first one, probably meaning Resident Evil game. Yeah, a buddy of mine was into those, and I didn't care about Resident Evil, but I did get Evil Dead, Hail to the King or whatever. Wade says Silent Hill is probably the creepiest PS1 game, but I can't say I played all the horror games on PS1. Rooster says the mansion in Burial Ground reminds me of the mansion in Resident Evil. Isn't Burial Ground just the goofiest movie ever? It's almost like a porno without the porn scenes. Like there's absolutely no plot, which I don't have a problem with that aspect, but it's like people just go out here to meet, and then like at the beginning people are just like screwing other people, and then they just go out, into the garden and just getting attacked. There's like not one single attempt at a plot, which is kind of fun. But Burial Ground is a movie that I wish me and my buddy had seen, and when we were teenagers in high school, we just would have laughed at it so much, and especially with the mother son interaction at the end. Well, not only the end, but just the mother son interaction in general. Rooster says whoever made Resident Evil watched Burial Ground. Yeah, that's possible. That's funny. Rooster says, yeah, it was goofy in that aspect. Yeah, just no plot at all. Just zombies. And as for those, those potato sacks that all the dead zombies are wearing, can we assume that that's just what they buried people in, or is it just a zombie rag? Maybe they buried people in that stuff. Like, maybe those bodies can't be that old, otherwise they'd just be skeletons. But it's just funny how they're all wearing those just zombie gowns. Wade says Capcom is known to take inspiration from other movies and games. Gary says the director of Burial Ground did make porn movies as well as thrillers. Yeah, you can kind of tell that because after Burial Ground starts, it feels like it's veering towards porno, and then it's like, oh wait, this isn't a porno. This is a horror movie. So Wade says an example of this is Dead Rising by Capcom has similarities to Blue Stinger. For the Sega Dreamcast, Capcom released a bunch of games for Dreamcast, so I know they checked out other games. Rooster says, that's funny, Gary. All right, everyone, about an hour into the show, I guess I can go for another hour to make it our 2-week I mean our 2-hour a week normal show that we're all having so much fun with. At least it's like just movie talk this week. I get kind of depressed talking about real life shit, especially if it's every week. It's like talking about it isn't going to make it go away. Anyway, Gary says, Italian film industry for you. Yeah, isn't that funny? Wade says, Capcom makes great games in my opinion. I enjoy playing their games. Personally, I can't think of a bad Capcom game. Good. Rooster says, did you say you have watched Video Dead? Yeah, I saw that when I was a teenager. I got the VHS, and I've also subsequently got that double feature Scream Factory that has Video Dead and whatchamacallit. Just like with so many things, been meaning to review it. The other one that's on there is that movie I'm not too keen of, Terror Vision. Yeah. Video Dead is an interesting one where it's like really low budget, but it's got kind of like Doom Asylum where it's really low budget, but it has some pretty good like makeup effects. I'm not crazy about Video Dead. It's not something I watch very often, needless to say. Rooster says Shout had the double feature TerrorVision Video Dead. Yeah, I need to pick up that double. That I don't know if that's out of print or not. I think it is. I got it at half price before I stopped going there at a pretty decent price before. I'm pretty sure it's out of print, which is a bummer. TerrorVision is a competent movie. It's just not my kind of movie where it's just like, I don't know, almost Rocky Horror Picture Show-ish, just flamboyant, trying to be a cutesy nonsense crap. TerrorVision technically is, it's a competent movie. I think it's the Charlie Band Empire days. Just not my forte. I'd rather watch Video Dead. Wade says Video Dead is an awesome movie. I love having that in my Blu-ray collection. Oh, I enjoyed TerrorVision 2. I like both movies. Rooster says I watched Video Dead and was surprised, though. Not the best, but it was interesting. Wade says I like the 80s look and feel to old horror movies. Both those movies, TerrorVision and Video Dead, are horror comedy type movies. The TerrorVision is more comedic than Video Dead. Yeah, that's one thing I can say for them. At least they've got that 80s feel. Oh, and I want to say that chick who was a kind of cute, sexy chick in Amityville too, she's in TerrorVision, I think. Yeah, I got the is it Avco Embassy, the Embassy VHS of Video Dead. The one thing that's great about that movie too is the VHS cover art was pretty great. Yes, sir. Wade says, wasn't the makeup effects pretty good on the zombies too? Since I think Video Dead was pretty low budget movie. Yeah, I said that. I was like, that's one thing that's kind of similar to Doom Asylum, where it's a really, really low budget movie, but the makeup effects, they must have spent, a lot of money on the makeup effects. So that was one of the good aspects of the movie. That shot where that one guy I don't remember how it works. It's out in the woods in some little shack or something, and some zombie comes through the door and chainsaw throughs the guy. That effect is kind of goofy, but it's kind of a fun, low budget kind of goofy where it just didn't, I don't know. You can tell like the blood tubes are on the tip of the chainsaw, and it's just, yeah, it just doesn't really work right. Rooster says, any movie I tried to watch recently, or another movie I tried to watch recently is Witchery from '88, I think. Not a fan. Has Linda Blair in it. Yeah, I can't say I've seen that one. I can only assume at this point you're never going to try to watch Doom Asylum. Rooster says, I'm going to watch one day. All right. Yep. That silence. One quick sec. Gary says, I've got Doom Asylum and I've seen plenty worse horror movies. Rooster says, ha ha ha. Well, Gary says it's not that bad. Well, out of curiosity, what horror movies do you think are worse than Doom Asylum? I'm seeing 4 hitchhikers. Thank you very much. Rooster says some movies just don't connect. I notice it has a lot to do with what kind of mood I'm in. Rooster says Troll 2, haha, maybe. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Gary says Bad Biology. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Summerhill Cinema 700 here. He says good afternoon. Welcome. Oh, yeah. And I might as well plug Summerhill's shit. I don't have it, the name of the song memorized, but since last week you put up another one, which in my opinion is even better. It's like feel free to type the name of your tune in chat, Summerhill, if you'd like to. John Carpenter inspired little, I don't know what you'd call it, synth keyboard or synthesized tune on his channel, YouTube channel, which is really amazing. Really cool. Rooster says a lot of people say Night Killer is bad, but I liked it. Yeah, it's another one I haven't seen. Rooster says, "Are you eating an apple?" No, I'm having some peanut M&Ms. Should be eating an apple. Better for you than peanut M&Ms. Wade says Laserdisc format is kind of a strange format because there's a noticeable difference in video quality from mid-level players to high-end players. Don't notice that much of a difference in VHS players. Yeah, I don't know if I really, well, see, I don't think I really necessarily had any high-end players, so I guess I probably can't, I haven't experienced what you're experienced, but I can definitely remember experiencing, differences in VCRs over the years when I was a teenager and stuff. But I don't think I've had enough different tiers of Laserdisc players to have experienced that myself. Summerhill says, thanks. That one is called, Chased in the Dark, everyone, if they want to hear a really cool John Carpenter-esque, whatever you want to call it, synth/keyboard tune that Summerhill Cinema 700 did on his channel. Just a shameless plug. Gary says, yes, I like Night Killer. It's bad in a good way. Wade says, I can see an obvious difference in video quality going from my 95 LX-H670 to my LX-900. Wade says they both came out in same year but produced different video quality. Yeah. Ooh, stretching. Wade says the high-end Laserdisc players start coming a lot closer to DVD, which I guess makes sense since they cost more to purchase back in the mid-90s. Rooster says, here still. I don't know if you meant if I'm here still. I'm here still. I'm just kind of a chat-driven show, so when there's a lapse in comments, there's a lapse in my talking, I guess. Oh, in case some of you are wondering or remember, and maybe you don't, maybe you do, weeks ago I talked about Suncoast and working at Suncoast and getting that Speed, the movie Speed themed Suncoast vest, and I was going to try to find it and show you. I looked for it. I don't know where the hell it is. So it's funny because it was hanging in the same spot for years and years and years. And I just had this idea that it was still hanging there, and it's not. So in case any of you are wondering, you probably all forgot about it. But in case any of you are wondering why I haven't shown that yet, it's because I don't know where the hell it is. So I can only assume, there's no way I'd throw it out or intentionally. So I can only assume I got it somewhere, but goodness knows where. Rooster says, did you say you liked The House of Wax from 2004 or have you watched it? No, I'm the one who said I've got the Blu-ray of the original, the 3D Blu-ray of the original movie. I've never seen the 2004 one because, I guess I always say, why would I? Rooster says, that's a bummer, man. You will find it when you aren't expecting it. Well, one can hope. Like I say, there's no way I would intentionally get rid of it. So one can only assume I've got it somewhere. Yeah, all I got to do is stop looking for it and it'll pop up. That's how it works. Gary says, I wish I worked in a video store. I spent enough time in there in the 80s and 90s. Well, why didn't you? You probably had a better job. Is there a reason? So you never did? I thought you said you did. I don't remember. It's hard to keep track of everyone and their histories. Or maybe you worked somewhere like a video store. I don't remember. Yeah, now I'm kind of grateful that I did get to work at a video store for as many years as I did. Now that they're frickin' thing of the past. Family Video, I guess, that was trying to make a go of it for a while in the post video store era. I guess just was it this year or last year? They just recently went out of business, and they were trying to make a go of it post all the other video stores, and they were for a while, but it was only a matter of time before they went kaput. I stopped. I was going there for a while and buying used Blu-rays, but I stopped going because you could tell the business was getting bad because all of a sudden their employees were trying to upsell and sell all this extra shit and sell you candy and crap. And I just don't even. If a company starts doing that, they can take a flying leap for all I care. I don't like that shit, being treated like some frickin' just give me more money. Obviously it's not the employee, it's, the employee's just doing what they're told to do, but just the company, the corporate practice of just stick it to them and ask for more and more and more, ask them to spend more. It's like, fuck you. Rooster says it would have been cool to keep some of those standees. Yeah, I had standees, that I got from video stores in the 90s and stuff that, I've since gotten rid of that I wish I would have kept. But there's only so much space, and plus you don't know when you're a teenager, you don't realize that 10, 20, 30 years later, this stuff is going to be really cool because you're just living in the moment as a teenager. You're just so used to living in the moment. You don't have much history. You don't understand what, yeah. Gary says, no, same job now since 88. Holy shit. You've been in the same job since 88. Well, that job must work out for you then. Wade says, is the only way to see the original Star Wars with the original special effects still on old Laserdisc and old VHS tapes? Well, the only legal way. No, there's those DVDs they put out I don't remember what they were called, but it comes with the bonus disc, which has the original versions. But I'm pretty sure it's, the versions from the Laserdisc, but still it's on DVD. I don't remember what they were called, like special edition. Well, yeah, I can't remember what they were called, but the bonus disc was the original of the original version of the movies. It was like a limited thing. I wonder what those go for on eBay. Rooster says Family Video still does online. Every time I buy something from Barnes & Noble, they try to push the membership on me. Yeah, fuck them too. Only time I go there is 50% off Criterion. Yeah, Gary says life sentence at his job. Sounds like it. Sorry about that. Wade says DVDs were the Laserdiscs. Yeah, but I mean, they're a way to watch the Laserdiscs if you don't have a Laserdisc player. He makes a big smiley face. He's goofing with us. He's goofing on us, everyone. He's goofing. Wade says, or I mean the Laserdisc captures. Summerhill says there are 2 video stores left in my city. One's a few blocks away, but they also sell pet food to stay in business. Most have closed, sadly. Yeah, it'd almost be, not to tell you what to do, but it'd almost be cool if a person being you wanted to go in there and record them and record it and make a video. Obviously, it's up to you. You can maybe, yeah, I feel bad at, telling you what to do, but it's just like a suggestion thing if you wanted to kind of go in there nonchalant and have your phone hanging by your side recording video and real casual. But obviously it's up to you. That'd be fun. A video store that stays in business by selling pet food. Gary says video stores, I miss them. Yeah, same here. Yeah, it was fun to go in there and look at all the stuff and see what previously viewed movies they had. It was fun doing family video there for a while. It's just like, wow. Because it seemed like around me they were like, I don't know when the hell it was. I don't even remember anymore. Sometime after 2010, it seemed like they were almost opening up around me or something like that. And I was just like, wow. This is promising, but obviously I didn't expect it to last or whatever, but yeah, in bygone era, just like so many things that are going to be bygone soon. Would have been nice if I would have realized how special the times in the 80s and 90s were going to be, so I could have appreciated them more. You don't realize it until you lose it, and as a result, I try to appreciate what I've got now, having experience, being old enough where you can experience a change like that, a historical change that goes from one thing to another, like video stores to no video stores. It informs on or helps you try to be more appreciative of the current times. And I like to think I am, because as I said, as a, preteen and a teenager in video stores, you just take it for granted. You're like, well, these have been around ever since I can remember, so they'll be around forever. You just kind of take it for granted. So I guess what I'm saying is having, being old enough to experience the video store dying, it kind of makes me appreciate now more, because who knows how long things we enjoy now will last. Wade says it was really stupid how they changed the old Anakin Ghost to the young Anakin Ghost in the new release. I hate that a lot personally. It also makes no sense because Anakin died as an old man. I think people would argue, though, that I think the argument about that is like, well, he went bad though as a young man. So, the whole time he was old man, he was bad. So when you die as a bad man and you're actually die doing something good, you revert I don't know. It makes no sense. It's like we're seeing the last time Anakin was, good or something like that. It's all contrived horseshit. But I think that was the argument, is that when you saw his spirit thing or whatever the hell it was, it's seeing him as the younger, good version or some crap. But I hear what you're saying. Rooster says, my Best Buy has shitty Blu-ray collection. Sadly, it seems to shrink every year. Yeah, before you know it, it's just not even going to be there at all. I mean, I used to really love Best Buy in the 90s, but I mean, I hate that place now. So I really just don't go to stores anymore. Just go somewhere once a week to get a couple food items, and that's it, So money saved, I guess. Summerhill says, I have actually thought about doing that. Now I have to. Well, that's cool. You don't have to, but I'm glad you thought about doing that. Yeah, I think you film your videos on a phone, so perhaps you could just take your phone in there and just have it in your hand recording video, and just, casually walk around, and perhaps, I don't know what kind of editing stuff you got, but perhaps you could do a voiceover later over the video, or it's up to you. But I know that I personally would be interested in seeing that video store / pet food store. If you wanted to do that, that'd be cool. No pressure, of course. Roosters says Walmart has a better selection than Best Buy now. Yeah, I mean, I sure as shit don't go to Walmart, but that's just me. Pretty much don't go anywhere because of last year. Gary says, it's great having a film collection. It can be a nostalgic thing. Yeah, it's funny how, VHS tapes and Laserdisc that, for a while there, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, which were basically just worthless. It's like things go through this, okay, they're new, they're worth something, and then like 10 years later they're worthless, and then another 10 years later, it's like they become worth something again. So you just have to keep something long enough for it to go through the worthless phase and become worth something again. It's like I'm amazed how much these tapes and Laserdiscs are. I don't know if they're going, if they're selling on eBay, but the prices people are asking. I mean, I just became aware since I showed the Halloween Laserdisc that, I mean, people are asking $100 or more for these Halloween Laserdiscs. I'm just like, oh my God. Wade says, but he was good as old man right before he died. Yeah, see, that's true. That's a good point. That's why it's just nonsensical. Yeah, he turned good as an old man before he died. Yep, the Star Wars movies are, since he effed with them, have definitely become screwed up. But I don't even really watch Star Wars crap anymore. I'm just, my whole childhood in 80s and 90s and stuff was about it. I just kind of Star Wars out, especially after. It didn't help that they ruined the series by just doing a crap 7, 8, and 9. Wade says he saved his son Luke as an old man. Yep. Summerhill says, I have thought about that too. Will we look back at all the Blu-rays we are buying now and all of the labels like Arrow Video and Scream Factory as a thing of the past? Yeah, I know. That's a good point. That's a scary thought. Like, it very well could be. It's just like, oh my God, we have to appreciate even this era of these niche outfits, like the ones we love so much, Kino and Scream Factory and Arrow and all these others, that are putting out these Blu-rays or these classic, or in some cases unknown, not so classic goofball movies, because there might be an era where it's just all Oh, I hate to even say it out loud, where the era's over with the Blu-rays and the disc thing, and they're just everything's online. Oh, I don't want to think about it. Wade Wilson gives a goofy big face with the tongue hanging out. Wade says, I pay insane prices for laser discs. Well, a person could have worse hobbies, like there's a big drug epidemic going on in the world and stuff. So, unless you do that too, judging from your little emoji face, maybe you need a fix. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I always say. If I pay too much for something like a Blu-ray or something, I'll be like, oh, I could be buying worse stuff, I guess. Rooster says, I know the Blood Rage VHS is very expensive. Okay, I can only assume so. The Burning VHS is also very expensive. Now, which one is that? Because I think I've got the original, like, clamshell. Um, I don't know if it's Thorn EMI or whatever the hell it is. I show it in my review of the movie The Burning. I think I do a movie/Blu-ray review of The Burning. I've got the Thorn. I want to say it's Thorn EMI clamshell VHS of The Burning. It's so funny how these subpar crap versions of these movies, the worst video versions of these movies, are like so expensive. It's just weird, but I guess it's all about rarity. It's not about the audio video quality. It's about the rarity of it. Gary says, when I was a kid, I collected Star Wars figures and played with them, not like these crazy bastards today buying figures in box for crazy money. Yeah, the whole figures thing has really gone overboard. I'll tell you that. Wade says some Scream Factory and Arrow Video releases of Blu-rays are expensive. It's because they're releasing limited releases. Yeah, that doesn't help. Rooster says, if you got the Burning VHS, you got a gem. Yeah, check out my review of the movie Blu-ray review of The Burning. I think I showcase it. I could probably just do a separate video of that that VHS. Where is it? Is it here in this room? I don't know where the hell it is. It's somewhere, probably in one of these piles. I'm pretty sure I showcased it in my review of the movie and the Blu-ray. Yeah, I probably, with what I got in VHS and Laserdisc, I probably got enough to retire on. Gary says, I think there will always be DVD/Blu-ray collectors. You still get people collecting Super 8 films. Yeah, that's true. I think maybe what Summerhill was saying is, worried about the era where they stopped making them. That's the part that scares me. I don't know if that's what he was getting at, possibly, but whether it was or not, that's the thing that scares me. But I guess nothing lasts forever. Wade says, "Did any of you see Twisted Nightmare?" I don't think I have. Doesn't ring a bell. Rooster says, "My uncle asked me the other day why I buy Blu-rays and DVDs when you can stream them." I was like, "Do you not want to own anything? Do you want all your movies censored?" Yeah, yeah. It's funny how most people just seem to go with the flow. Like, if you can stream music, why would you want to own it? If you can stream movies, why would you want to own them? It's just because they can always just take the movie off or alter the movie, or yeah, people. But no, I don't think I've seen Twisted Nightmare. Rooster says, I don't like that mindset. Yeah, I think it's just more about convenience for people and them not realizing that, if they don't own something, there might come a day where it's not available. It's just them not thinking anything through. It's them thinking, okay, well, it's streamable now, so it'll always be streamable, or I don't know. It's hard to say what they're thinking, if anything at all. Rooster says everything will be subscriptions in the future, digital subscriptions. Yeah, not to get into the topic or anything, but I don't think it was any coincidence that Disney Plus started right at the end of 2019, if you know what I mean, but I don't want to get into it. All right, everyone. I'd say about 25 minutes of the show left and counting. T minus 25. Well, it's more like 24 minutes and counting. I'm glad it was mostly movie talk this week, though. That other talk can get depressing. Rooster laughs out loud. I think he likes being from Mississippi himself. He's entertained by my southern accent. I'm just fortunate that I don't have a need to watch all these shows and feel like I got to be subscribed to all the, or have all these different streaming services. Like, I just don't even care. What I watch is pretty much stuff that I've just grew up with, kind of over and over and over. I'm not really interested in what they're making now, so I'm fortunate in that I don't have this urge to be to give money to these streaming services. Rooster says, you do mean a southern accent. What'd I say? I said the wrong thing again? Jesus. Gary says, Nate, is there a horror film you want on Blu-ray you want but missed out on? Yeah, I think I was asked that the other week, and I could only think of Scarecrows, but I've since thought of but the reason I missed out on this is because I didn't know what happened, the Blu-ray release of Sorority House Massacre. And I think that's like Code Red or something, Code Red and someone else or something. A lot of times if it's Code Red, it just goes right under the radar and you don't even know it's out until it's out of print. So, and I'd say right now, Sorority House Massacre is the Blu-ray I most regret missing out on. Oh, Rooster says, I meant you do a good Southern accent. Okay. I didn't know if I said Northern accent when I meant Southern. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, in case anyone's wondering, I mean, the reason why every time I go every time I go Southern when I start doing the countdown is because, well, I mean, Houston is like where the Rockets take off or whatever, so it's always like T minus, and it just happens automatically. The accent. I can't say T. Let's see if I can try it. See if I can say it. Yeah, it's very hard to say T minus 20 minutes and counting. Obviously, I can do it, but it just feels so natural to go T minus 20 minutes and counting. It's just it probably happens and I don't even know it. Rooster says, "Have you watched the Tales from the Crypt series?" I never was into that, I'm afraid. I never did a lot of series because I didn't like being, tied down to specific time a TV show was on. I never liked having to, stop my life to turn on the TV. So I wasn't huge into TV series. I just preferred having a movie on tape. I could watch it when I wanted to. I bet you anything Austin's going to show up right before the end of the show. That little bugger. Wade says Friday the 13th TV series is really good, but mostly the first 2 seasons. The third season kind of sucks, but has some good episodes, but most likely crap in the third season. I can remember watching a little bit of Freddy's Nightmares when it came out. It was like, ooh, wow, Freddy TV show. But I mean, TV shows really didn't do all that much for me as a kid. Rooster says, I see what you mean. I kind of want to check out the new Creepshow series, but I don't want to have to pay a subscription for it. Yeah, exactly. I'd much rather buy, like, when a show's season's done or something, buy the Blu-ray or something of a show than pay a subscription for it. Luckily there's like little to no shows that are being made now that interest me, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I just don't like the idea of paying for a streaming subscription service. Summerhill says, gotta get going. Have a great day and week, everyone. You as well. Yeah, he's got to go film the video store before it closes. We understand. Thanks for showing up this week yet again, Summerhill. Have a good one. And good luck with your future music and video store filming endeavors. Rooster says, I wouldn't mind checking out Freddy's Nightmares. Yeah, it seems to me I got the New Line collection, Blu-ray collection of this films. It seems to me there's a couple Freddy Nightmare episodes on that, if I'm not mistaken. It seems like I'm pretty sure it's on that. If it's not on that, it's on something I've got. A couple episodes. I should almost watch those for fun. But I can remember watching probably the first episodes in the late 80s or whenever they came out, taping them. But I mean, obviously they didn't hold a candle to the movies, so my interest kind of waned pretty, didn't take long for my interest to wane. Rooster says, cool, I didn't know that. Yeah. Well, now the only question is, do you have the Blu-ray collection of the Nightmare movies? Because I think it's out of print. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple episodes of Freddy's Nightmares on. I don't think they're on Blu-ray. I think there's like a DVD bonus disc or something on that. I hate to talk about stuff if I'm not sure, because I don't like to give out incorrect information. Rooster says, no, it's just the damn DVD box set. Well, it's, chances are maybe someone put, if not a whole episode, maybe a part episode on YouTube or something. But yeah. We can hope. But I mean, at the end of the day, in regards to Freddy's Nightmares, I don't think anyone's really missing much if they can't find it. But for the nostalgia, it'd be fun to check out. I remember in the late 80s, because I was a fan of, the movie from the 50s, War of the Worlds. I mean, I still am. I can remember when that War of the Worlds TV show debuted. I think I was really excited, and I'm pretty sure I recorded the pilot and taped the pilot off TV and stuff. I've since gotten some DVDs of. I don't remember if I've got the whole show. I got the first couple seasons, I think, but I remember thinking, God, that show's just a money grab, kind of just, kind of. It was cool that they, utilized like the same, Martian machine design from the 50s movie and stuff, but like with the exception of like the pilot episode, I mean, I don't think the ships are really even in the show very much. Rooster says, did you ever revisit I Know What You Did Last Summer? No, not yet. Since it warmed up, I've actually been doing like the Friday the 13th movies, like, I do my 1 through 7 and I just finish 7. I'm going to start 1 again and just keep going 1 through 7, 1 through 7. That's probably, it's just so cool because this is the first summer where they're on that, that Blu-ray box sets out where they're on their own disc, own cut. They each have their own disc and their own cover and original cover art. It's just like, I really got the urge to, and especially, new scans of the first 4 movies and original audio for the rest of them. And so I'm going to like go crazy on Friday the 13th, 1 through 7 this year, and probably just do a lot of that. But, I'll probably, if nothing else, maybe by July or something, 4th of July is a perfect time to do I Know What You Did Last Summer. Maybe I can check it, revisit it then. I just got the DVDs. Rooster says, I need to revisit Urban Legend. I still remember Brad Dourif at the beginning of it. That was a cool opening. Yeah, I got that too on DVD. I don't remember it. I should probably check that out too. Gary says, yeah, I've got the Elm Street collection. It's got 2 of the episodes from the show. That's what I thought. Okay, probably on DVD though, I would imagine. Rooster says, I mentioned I Know What You Did Last Summer because I saw where Jennifer Love Hewitt just had another baby. Ugh. Yeah, great time to be having kids, I'll tell you that. I mean, I can understand why she would get pregnant, but I mean, anyway. Rooster says she still looks good in her 40s. Okay, good. Yeah, but having a kid in your 40s, I mean, shit. Come on. I mean, you have to think of the kid like, when they're 20, then you're either going to be dead or 60. I don't think enough people think about the kids, especially if you're having kids when you're in your 40s. It's like you may not even be here. Rooster laughs. Rooster says, yeah, you got a point on that. I mean, I kind of think, I mean, I'm kind of against bringing kids into this horseshit world anyway, but I kind of think if you're going to do the calamity of bringing life into this horseshit prison world, doing it past being like the age of 30, I think might be too late. Because if you do it when you're 30, then, you're only 50 when your kids are 20, or your kids are 20. If there's too much of an age discrepancy, it just gets to be where, are you even going to be around if they, need something? I mean, are they going to be taking care of you when they're in their 20s? You just, all kinds of things to think about. Gary says, I wish I had Friday the 13th new release, but it ain't going to get a release here. Damn it. That's just such a bummer. Man. It just makes me sad to think there are people who can't enjoy that amazing release. But I guess on the flip side, you guys have got amazing releases we can't enjoy unless we have region free players. So I guess it balances out. But so we got like 10 minutes left. Anyone hear about this movie Spiral? Is this another Saw spinoff? I just heard about that. I just saw this poster on this movie theater website. Is this a Saw spin-off, Spiral? Anyone know anything about this in the last 10 minutes? We've got about T-minus 10 minutes and counting of show left. Rooster says, yeah, it's playing at my drive-in, or it was. So do you go to that drive-in then? Or do you just not go to it? I guess I'm, kind of half-ass curious about Spiral. See what the hell they got to do. What else they got to say with that crap. Rooster says, yes, I go, but it's been a while. Yeah, I'd probably, if it were at my drive-in, I'd probably see if I could drag Beth out to suffer through all the pre-movie hell to see it, but I don't know if it's probably won't be at my drive-in. They tend to try to get stuff that's more, I guess, family friendly. I don't see them getting it. Rooster says my drive-in has 2 screens. Well, how's about that? Mine has 1. I don't think I've ever been to one that's got more than 1 screen. That's kind of seems like it'd be confusing, but I guess that they have it figured out. Gary says, don't mention driving that video you shown the kid almost dead. Oh yeah, horizontal child. As I said, I'm pretty sure that's just her way of getting younger brother back to the car when he doesn't want to. Just throw him over her shoulder. Rooster says, ha ha ha, mine is better than yours. Oh well. I can live with that. Ha ha, you don't go to yours. Rooster says 1 screen in the front, family movies, and 1 in the back. 1 in the back must be for the non-family movies. How do they put the soundtracks on like AM or FM radio stations? That'd be funny to like tune in, like if you're at the kids movie, tune it into the non-kids movie and we'll watch the kids movie with the other movie's sound. That'd be funny. Rooster says, yeah, FM radio, and I think he likes that idea. He's laughing out loud. Wouldn't that be funny? You'd be watching this stupid cartoon movie with farts and fart jokes and booger jokes and crap, and then you hearing like the soundtrack to Spiral. Ah, bitch, take it. Live or die. Make your choice. The choice is yours, or whatever. While you see Tom and Jerry on the screen. That'd be funny. All right, everyone, about T-minus 5 minutes and counting. Boosters, check. Space flaps, check. Trampoline, check. Rooster says, did you watch any Saw movies at the drive-in? I don't know, I haven't. But see, I was never really into the Saw movies. I mean, I'm not really even into the Saw movies. I guess the only reason I have any interest in Spiral is just because Saw now is even so old that same thing happened when Jigsaw came out. I was just like, oh wow, I used to. I mean, I don't really even like Saw, but it's since Saw itself as a franchise is so old now, I'm actually interested in Jigsaw, and same thing kind of goes for Spiral. It's like the franchise. I guess something that I don't like, all it has to do is get old, and then I'll be like, oh, cool. I mean, I still don't claim to necessarily like any of this stuff, but I guess there's just more of an interest for that reason, if it makes any sense. It's just like, oh, all you got to do is, if something's stupid, just add some time, just add years to it. And it's like, well, it's still stupid, but it's stupid nostalgia now, you know? Gary Page says, ha ha ha. Rooster says, I'm not a big fan either. Yeah, I never liked the Saw movies, but it's like, ooh, it's nostalgia. Rooster says, you making any more Laserdisc videos? Yeah, I got, I think 5 more in the can, so 5 more in the process of cutting and gonna go up, so definitely more of those to go up, but I am getting dangerously close to what I would regard as some of the more interesting ones. I'm doing the more interesting ones first, which I don't know if is a good idea or not. And then I'm running out of the older ones, and I'm going to get to the point where I've got only more newer ones. But I think I think a Laserdisc, even a newer one, because the format itself is old, so even a newer Laserdisc is maybe still interesting. I don't know, but we'll see what the interest is like for when I start showing the more not so ancient ones, because I'm kind of running out of the ones from the 80s and stuff. I'm kind of gonna veer into the more of the 90s and stuff. I don't imagine the interest will be as high, but it's hard to say. I'm surprised there's so much interest in some of these 80s laser discs. Rooster says, awesome. You got any VHS in the pipe too? Yeah, I've got a pile right here that I've been building. Like I say, I mean, it's a lot to show in so little time, but there's a VHS pile right next to me here, and I'm not gonna even. I could name out the titles, but that's no fun. You'll just see them as they unfold. But plus, I got to do some of my actual movie reviews as well, so it's a balance of doing VHS, Laserdisc showcasings, even early DVD showcasings to an extent, and trying to balance in some of the movie reviews in there too. The irony is people, I think, care less about what I have to say about movies than they do about just me showing, DVDs, Laserdiscs, and Blu-rays, but that's their right, I guess. All right, everyone, final minute of the show. So I've definitely got VHS, DVD, and Laserdisc showcasings in the works, and hopefully some movie Blu-ray reviews as well. Thank you, everyone, for showing up this week. Looks like no what's his name at all this week, which is fine. He'll probably show up in the last 5 seconds. I can't remember his name right now. Rooster says, cool, great show, buddy. I'll be on the Outlook for videos. I like all the videos. Gary says, I'll see you all next week. Take care. Don't forget Jason is watching you. Shit, I didn't know that. Nate, please, more Laserdisc videos. Yep, they're on the way, everyone. All right. Thanks, everyone, for showing. up this week, and we'll definitely see you on the next show.